Have you ever heard the claim that Africa was a dark continent waiting for enlightenment from Europe? Well, get ready to have that myth completely shattered. Today, we're diving into a piece of history that flips the script on education, proving that Africa had world-class universities long before some of Europe's most famous institutions even opened their doors. Let's start with a name you need to know, the University of located in Fez, Morocco. It was founded in the year 859. Yes, you heard that right. 859. To put that in perspective, Oxford University, one of the oldest in the English-speaking world, wasn't founded until the late 11th century. Over 200 years later. This means Africa was a hub of higher learning, while much of Europe was still in what historians call the Dark Ages. But Al-Qarawiyyin wasn't an isolated case. Travel with me to modern-day Egypt, to Al-Azhar University in Cairo. Founded around 978, it quickly became a leading center for Islamic learning, law, and the sciences, attracting scholars and students from across Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. It wasn't just a place to study religion. It was a vibrant intellectual center for astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. And then there's the legendary city of Timbuktu in the Mali Empire. By the 12th century, Timbuktu was home to the University of Sankore and two other major centers of learning. It wasn't a single building like a modern university, but a collection of independent schools, each run by a master scholar. At its peak, Timbuktu had an estimated 25,000 students, which was a quarter of the city's population. They studied everything from law and literature to mathematics and medicine. The libraries of Timbuktu held hundreds of thousands of manuscripts, making it one of the greatest intellectual capitals of the world. So, what were they studying? The curriculum was incredibly broad. Students at these African universities engaged with complex legal theory, advanced mathematics needed for astronomy, and detailed medical texts. They studied rhetoric, logic, and philosophy, translating and preserving ancient Greek texts that were later reintroduced to Europe. This wasn't basic education. This was high-level academic inquiry that rivaled any institution in the world at the time. Think about what this means. The idea that Europe brought education to Africa is fundamentally wrong. In reality, Africa had a rich, centuries-old tradition of higher education, while many parts of Europe were just beginning to establish their own centers of learning. These African universities were beacons of knowledge, attracting brilliant minds and preserving intellectual heritage for generations. The narrative of a primitive Africa simply does unhold up when you look at the facts. Africa was not waiting to be discovered or educated. It was a continent with thriving empires, bustling trade routes, and world-class centers of scholarship. The libraries of Timbuktu and the lecture halls of Al-Qarawiyyin are a powerful testament to Africa's incredible intellectual history. So, the next time someone mentions the great old universities of the world, don't just think of Oxford or Bologna. Remember Sankore, Al-Azhar, and remember that Africa was teaching while Europe was still learning. This history is crucial, not just for correcting the record, but for understanding the deep intellectual roots of the African continent. Thank you so much for joining me on this historical journey. If you found this as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button, subscribe for more content that challenges old narratives, and share this video to help spread the word. Let's keep learning together. See you in the next one.